Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about 42 Dugg, man. Now in this video, I'm going to be calling him 42 Dugg and 42 Dugg. I use those two interchangeably, so don't hold it against me. But it looks like he done got arrested, y'all. Man, and he got arrested by the feds. So it's looking like a big deal with 42 Dugg and his future in the rap game. Now, 42 Dugg has had several cases in the past. He's always had a history since he's been in the rap game of having some mess following him. You know what I mean? He's had different arrests. He's actually had situations where he had to, turn himself in to authorities and whatnot. And it seems like all of that is coming back to haunt him at once. And according to a story from the local news there in Detroit, it seems like all of this could have been avoided by 42 Dugg doing what he was supposed to do, or at least told to do by the judge. Now, there might have been some miscommunication where he thought he was appealing the situation, and it wasn't that. But regardless of all that, 42 Dugg got locked up by the feds. Now, before we break down this story and get to the specifics, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, man, let's talk about this 42 Dugg situation, man, and him getting arrested by the feds. Now, there's a local news publication called the Detroit News, and they dropped this news story with this headline today. It said, Detroit rapper 42 Dugg arrested by feds again as legal problems worsen. So it already lets you know that this is not his first rodeo with the feds. And you hear through 42 Dugg's music and all of the projects that he's got out there, man, dude has been successful. Let's be for real. A lot of the artists that Yo Gotti has put out there and Lil Baby has back, they're doing good, man. He's doing really good out here, man. It seems like, he's well accepted by the rap game. He had that project that he just dropped with ESTG, which was a joint mixtape that did better than a lot of people expected. I mean, it did amazing, to be honest with you, for that just to be dropped out of nowhere. He's doing good, man. But it looks like with these legal problems, he might have a problem maintaining his success in the rap game. So the news story starts off like this. It says, federal agents have arrested Detroit rapper 42 Dugg for failing to surrender and serve a 6-month sentence in prison. So a 6-month prison sentence. The latest legal problem for the promising entertainer. So let it be known that, he's got a future in this game, and he failed to turn himself in to serve 6 months. Now, when you listen to that and you hear the other details, you're probably going to be a little upset with 42 Dugg. I know he's been at all the big games and stuff. They even mentioned that in the story. But Dugg, dude, that's 6 months. If that's what's in between you and your rap success, your career, man, me personally, that's how I would look at it. Now, I don't know his situation, and maybe he thought something and his lawyer's going to say that. But, man, I don't know. It sounds like a ball drop to me. Now, the story continues by saying this. The arrest of Deon Hayes represents the latest fallout from a criminal case that emerged in the early days of, what's been going on lately, right? And threatened to derail the up-and-coming rapper's career. Now, when I say what's been going on lately, I mean within the last 2 years, you can put it together, right? Now, Hayes, a.k.a. 42 Dugg, 27 years old. He's older than I thought, man. He's a lot older than I thought. I always thought 42 Dugg was way younger, you know what I'm saying? Like around Pooh Shiesty and them's age. But to be perfectly honest, in the grand scheme of things, that's still super young. So 42 Dugg, 27 years old, failed to report to a federal prison camp April 12th in West Virginia to serve a sentence for illegally possessing a firearm, and now faces an absconding charge punishable for up to 5 years in prison. So hold up, man. If he did the 6 years, he wouldn't be looking at a possible 5 years. You see what I'm saying? Now, it continues by saying this. It says, he was arrested early Wednesday in Metro Detroit after arriving in a private jet from Memphis, where he attended the NBA playoff game between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Golden State Warriors. His lawyer, Steve Sharg, told the Detroit News. Now, everybody saw most of the CMG roster at the Memphis Grizzlies game. You saw Moneybagg Yo there. You saw 42 Dugg. You saw Yo Gotti. They were all in attendance, man. And I guess he was at the game, so maybe that's why he didn't check in, or I doubt that, man. It has to be more to it than that. Because if they had a set date, April 12th, that he had to check himself into prison, a playoff game isn't what's going to keep you out here, man. Obviously, there was some sort of miscommunication on his behalf. So I have to give him some credit on that, or at least shoot him a little bit of bail, right? Now, in quotes, it says this. It says, He got off the plane and they were waiting there to greet him, Sharg said. And Sharg is his attorney, so don't forget that, right? Now, it goes on to talk about how he's had a lot of success in the rap game, coupled with a lot of legal problems. They even said that he's gained an increasingly popular music career. That's a quote, right? Escalating, with his legal problems. So as he went up in the rap game, his legal problems increased as well. Now, his lawyer also said that they fought hard during this time to try to keep him out of jail for whatever reasons, Now, the gun case dates back to November 2019, when the ATF agents received an anonymous tip that Hayes fired a weapon inside a Studdard's Range and Guns in Atlanta. So somebody sent an anonymous tip that 42 Dugg was shooting a weapon inside of a gun range, and where would they get that? It would have to be somebody who worked there. You know what I'm saying? That is the only way. Because how in the world would they know he had a record or anything like that, or that he couldn't be around a weapon? I don't know. That seems pretty fishy. You know what I mean? But let's continue. It also says investigators reviewed video surveillance and documents from the gun range and learned that Hayes, that's 42 Dugg, and two others visited the range on November 8th, according to a criminal complaint filed in federal court. The surveillance video showed Hayes possessing, loading, and firing a 9mm Glock pistol, according to the criminal complaint. So he was in a gun range, and he's not supposed to even be around guns. I mean, you can say what you want about somebody, telling on him or whatnot, or somebody giving a tip on him, but you know if you can't be around no gun, man. And going to a gun range just ain't a good look. Now, it continues by saying he was arrested in March 2020. So it took some time to even arrest him. And then he was charged with felony firearm possession. Hayes is not allowed to possess a firearm because he was convicted of carjacking and felony firearms possession and released from prison 5 years ago. So he already did a 5-year bid. So 42 Dugg was in them streets early, I guess. You get what I'm saying? Now, the gun case gained attention in the early days, of his career. And his lawyer stepped forward and successfully fought to keep him out of jail due to concerns in the jails at the time. You guys can put two and two together, right? Now, he was sentenced in November to 3 years of probation in order to pay a $90,000 fine for illegally possessing a firearm. Now, I have seen 42 Dugg's jewelry. I've seen his chains, the watches that he switches out. All of that is more than $90,000. I don't think the $90,000 was the problem. I'm guessing it was the time. Now, then his troubles worsened, they said in the story. In December, court officials threatened to revoke his probation after Hayes repeatedly tested positive for drugs and was arrested in Nevada for obstructing law enforcement, according to a new criminal complaint unsealed in Georgia. So they're saying that he was arrested in Nevada. Now remember, 42 Dugg allegedly got into an altercation, or got into a scuffle with somebody in Nevada, in a casino. I don't know if you guys remember that story, but man, I'm wondering if that led to him getting detained or arrested or whatever, if this is the same situation that they're talking about. Now, the complaint was filed in Georgia, probably because he lives there. But it also says this. It says a judge revoked Hayes' probation in February and sentenced him to 6 months in prison and 2 years of supervised release. Now, it goes on to say that he filed an appeal, and he thought that by filing an appeal, it stayed the proceedings. Sharg, his lawyer, said, right? But in quotes, it says, but it obviously didn't. So he thought by filing an appeal, he would put this off and he wouldn't have to turn himself in. So that makes a lot more sense, right? Now, Hayes is scheduled to appear in court today at 1 p.m. to face a federal magistrate judge to see if he'll get bond or not. And they go on to talk about how he's a young protege to Yo Gotti and Lil Baby, and how he's doing well in the rap game right now. Like, he's really getting it. His mixtape, Freedom Boys, did well. And that he bought a mansion recently in Georgia for like $1.4 million. And it looks like, all the things in his rap career, positive, going in the right direction. But man, as far as like his legal situations, man, they keep being a bump in the road for 42 Dugg. But what do y'all think about this, man? Do you think that 42 Dugg and his legal team maybe dropped the ball here? Or do you think there's got to be some sort of miscommunication? Because who in their right mind would not go and sit down for 6 months as opposed to having to do even more time if they don't show up. You know what I'm saying? Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.